Okay. Excuse me. So, I've talked about a lot of shit today, haven't I? Let's see. I'm trying to think of something to go into on this video. I guess what I could go into is, let's see. How about the divine feminine aspects of the self? I will also go into the symbology of Baphomet and what it means to me, because this is something that is pretty controversial in occult and non-occult places alike. First of all, for me personally, actually let me talk about Baphomet first before I go into anything else. Well, actually no shit. I'm going to talk about the feminine aspect of the self first, because that will flow into that. The female aspect of the self is associated with the element of water. It's associated with magnetic energy. It's associated with very powerful emotions, whereas the male energy is associated with more action and physicality and earth and fire rather than water and air. Now, you see, the feminine energy is very, very necessary in understanding and utilizing the full spectrum of magical practice, because unless you have some sort of background in understanding what the feminine aspect of magic really means, then you will always continuously use predominantly male aspects of the self, which is, it's good and fine, but you cannot truly complete an alchemic change within yourself unless you acknowledge that female aspect of yourself. This can mean a lot of different things to different people. You know, as a matter of fact, now that I think about it, in a lot of old traditional magic-related texts, there would be, well, not in a lot, maybe in a couple I've come across, it mentioned that the best way for someone to utilize magic is to be bisexual. And when I say bisexual, I'm not saying someone has to be, like, you don't have to be bisexual to acknowledge the feminine and male aspects in yourself. That's not what I'm saying at all. But the idea back then was, if someone was, they were in balance with both aspects of themselves on the internal level, and therefore externally that would be expressed as sexual attraction towards both genders. And you see, they say everyone's bisexual 1% of the time anyway, so I guess there's no worry there. Everyone has the potential for balance and understanding the feminine aspect of themselves. Now, what does that mean? Well, if someone can nurture someone else, take care of someone, protect someone, that can lead into the divine feminine, because you are looking at someone as needing your help, you're helping them, you're protecting them, you're nurturing them in a type of, that's commonly a maternal trait, but males can easily do that and still remain masculine. You don't have to acknowledge these traits and lose any masculinity, because it's just simply another aspect of yourself. You're not going up or down, you're just simply going on to the other end of the spectrum and utilizing what is there on the exact same level of the spectrum you're already at, predominantly, which would be male. Now, whenever there is an overstimulation of fire or water energy, you can expect to see someone more masculine, like more male dominant in a way, not more masculine, more primarily typically male dominant. They may be more physically in shape, may be really arrogant or easily angered. This is an overstimulation of the fire element, as I call it. It's simply the result of not balancing out both ends of the spectrum. Now, with the more feminine aspect, someone may be, you know, they can be sensitive and nurturing, but they have the incapability of standing up for themselves. And you see, this doesn't really have anything to do with physique at all. It really doesn't. That was just an example to kind of give a physical idea, a physical example. But regardless of physique, if someone is nurturing and protective, but they can't stand up for themselves, and this is an overexertion of the feminine aspect and energy. And you see, there must be a balancing of the two. Now, excuse me, I'm sorry. I got something stuck in my tongue. What the fuck that shit was. It's gross. Sorry. Anyways, you can balance the two energies through meditation, ritual, and spell practice, of course. Now, what do I mean by balance? Well, if you're creating an alchemic change internally, then this is taking water and fire. It's like taking mercury and sulfur. You're mixing these elements together symbolically within yourself by creating this electrical change in your body and mind, and through your willpower, you are creating these changes. Now, if you can do this, if you can remain nurturing and protective of others and of yourself, yet it's still at the same time while being reserved, you will be able to stand up for yourself should you ever need to. Then you are balancing yourself out to be more along the lines of what I would call the Baphomet energy. Because you see, the Baphomet energy is symbolic of everything in one thing. You see the Baphomet symbol, it says solve on one arm and coagula on the other. Now, coagula, to coagulate, means to sort of create a cleansing. It's an alchemical process similar to I can't describe it right now. But the solve part, it's simply saying create a solution to any question you may have. It's saying solve and coagulate. It's saying seek and find and create something new. Baphomet is both. It's a hermaphrodite figure. It has the breasts of a woman, and it still retains the phallus of a male. And you can see the hermetic symbol, the serpents going up the stomach, and symbolism of the alchemic energy that is awakened from this unifying of male and female, water and fire, and sun and moon, even the sun and the moon, put together. And it creates this feeling of just euphoric completion whenever you want to see the energy as representative of what it could feel like. That's what it would feel like if you were in that type of harmony and balance. In other words, the serpent energy, the kundalini, when it's awakened, creates a type of Baphomet experience. I myself, I won't go into too far detail, but there was a day where I had a really powerful energy awakening, and I felt myself just in that current of energy, and actually got a closed eye visual of the Baphomet imagery in my head. But it was of myself in that pose. It was brief, but it was very vivid, and I could feel it. It was as if my body was really naturally doing that from the energy currents going through it.